What's up, Jaguars? This is Left Side of the Brain coming at you again. Got a lot of things on my mind, and what I want to speak about tonight: the art of playing dead. The art of playing dead. Now, what is the art of playing dead, you might say? This is what the art of playing dead is. You see, even as I speak, there's some people getting in their car, right? So bear with me. We'll just take this time for like a commercial break. Go ahead, hit the likes button, hit the subscribe button. If you hadn't already added us on Instagram, take this moment to go ahead and, add us on Instagram or whatever. At Left Side of the Brain 2 on Instagram. You can donate to our channel at www.patreon.com/Left Side of the Brain. We also have a PayPal way that you can donate, but I prefer you, if you're going to donate to the channel, to donate to the Patreon. And in the future, I plan to actually start uploading some very heavy content on the Patreon. Things I can't normally say on YouTube, I'll just post them on Patreon. And what you can do is become a Patreon. You can start at like $5 a month, $10 a month, $25 a month, or however much you feel the information is worth. I'm just taking this moment for a commercial break. Okay, let's get into it. The art of playing dead. What does that mean, you might say? The art of playing dead, I don't mean laying on your back like a possum, but in a sense, I do mean laying on your back playing dead like a possum, because we're utilizing the law of exceedings. Okay, in nature, you see certain animals playing dead in order to stay alive. In order to survive, they have to play dead. Case in point, a possum. So we know what the law of exceedings say. The law of exceedings states that everything that's done in the physical world is an example of what takes place in the spiritual realm. And the things that take place in the physical realm, the things that take place in the spiritual realm, it doesn't exceed beyond what you can see taking place in the physical realm, like the possum playing dead, which is in conjunction with what I'm telling you about right now. So in a spiritual sense, the art of playing dead means when you are around these dead people, in order to survive, in order to keep your cover, you should play dead. You should play dead just like them. They not playing dead, but you should walk around not speaking to anybody. I've been practicing this technique all day. This is what y'all need to start doing. Start taking the things that I speak about on this channel and start applying it in your life. Like when you go to the grocery store, start practicing the art of playing dead. I was just in the grocery store, right? This is how you play dead. You look at people through the corner of your eye. You don't look at nobody directly in their face. You keep a spaced out look on your face. Not too spaced out, because you don't want to look like you're too spaced out. You don't want to do anything that will draw any attention on you. And you don't want to do anything that would make you too in crowd. You see what I'm saying? You want to play that in-between line. You don't want to speak to people. So when I was in the grocery store, right? When I look at people, I have already communicated with them. This is something that they don't tell you about. All of this stuff is a part of the secret wars that we always speak about. So when I look at people, I have already communicated with them. You see, the inner spirit is what is communicating. It's not the words that's coming out of the mouth. See, words are basically a camouflage. Words camouflage a lot of things that we do. So when you look at a person, that feeling that you get, that's exactly what it is. You can deny the feeling. You can second guess the feeling. That feeling is exactly what you feel. I'm telling you. That feeling that you have, it's that GPS system that the Creator gave you. It goes all the way back to the time before the great falling away. So you have that data inside of you. And I utilize it. And what you will find out is, like, I was in the store today, right? And this man, he passed me. He said, "Hello, how you doing?" It was like one of those, you ever looked at somebody and you couldn't help but to speak? It's like when they looked at you and you looked at them, it was like a key going into a lock and something was like initiated. Like when you turn the car engine on and you crank the car up, because they spirit connected with you, it was a key that initiated you to say hello to that person and vice versa. So when that happened to me today, I told that man, I said, "You the first real person I spoke to today." He started laughing and he was like, and I was like, because when you said hey to me, it was like I automatically responded back. I was like, most people will walk past you all day and they'll look at you with this strange look because they realize that your spirit is not in tune with their spirit. And that's where everything lies. Everything in this world revolves around whether or not people's spirits connect or not. That's what everything in this world revolves around. Connection of spirits. All wars are based upon disconnected spirits. At the root of everything, it boils down to disconnected spirits. Because if everybody on this planet had the same type of spirit that connected, there wouldn't be no such thing as war. There wouldn't be no such thing as money. There wouldn't be no such thing as sex trafficking. None of that stuff would exist. All of those things exist because of disconnected spirits. Somebody might say, well, humans supposed to treat each other like humans. Guess what? If your spirit disconnect with the next person's spirit, they don't even see you as worth something to respect. They see you as the enemy. They don't care if you got arm, leg, arm, head. They don't care about that. They just see you as an obstacle. They see you as something in the way. They see you as one of those orange cones that you see out in the traffic and you have to drive around them. That's what they see you as. They don't see you as another human being. But you will have people telling you stuff like that. See, what I call all of that stuff people tell you that go against this type of information, I call it empty noise. It's just noise in the back of your mind, but it's empty because it's not saying anything. It's trash noise. So most of our lives, we have been filled up with the wrong information, and wrong information was put in us to counter the right information. So when you finally come in contact with the right information, you'll still have that empty noise in the back of your mind telling you to doubt yourself, your conscience, and the right information like the things I'm telling you now. That's the purpose for false information in the first place. So the art of playing dead is the things that I said, and to go along with it, the art of playing dead is just being alone as much as possible. Staying to yourself and being alone as much as possible. Like I was talking to one of my relatives today, and we was talking about putting together some business ventures. And I told him, I was like, you know, at the age that we are at now as men, I was like, and I'm in my 30s, and I was like, at the age that we are at, we don't have no time to be just talking, but not talking about anything that's worthwhile. I was like, at our age, everything we should be speaking about should be about building our lives economically and, you know, putting ourselves in a position where we don't have to worry about anything financially. And I was like, anything other than that, at this point, we can just see each other in passing if we're not going to be, you know, actually thinking about doing serious things like establishing businesses and investing in our lives, you know, as far as finances and everything. Because like I told him, I was like, I already got the spiritual part of it down pat. You see what I'm saying? I was like, I already got the spiritual part down pat. Let me fix my camera, make sure it don't fall. Yeah. I was like, I got the spiritual part down pat. And I'm still, but I learn every day. I'm not saying I know everything. Every day I build. See, one thing about spiritual growth, it never comes to a point where it just comes to a cutoff limit. Spirituality doesn't do that. But I was just saying, all of that foolish gesturing and joking, you know how you get together with your homeboys or whatever, and you just hanging out. Y'all not talking about nothing spiritually that's developing. You're not talking about no business plans. Like I told my cousin I was on the phone with, I was like, when you go outside of your doors every morning, all around you, all throughout your city, all you see is brand names of fast food restaurants, gas stations. You see billboards advertising things. Everything is planned out. The people who run this world, they have planned out everything from top to bottom. So I'm saying all this to make a point. Within the art of playing dead, the only time you should be even entertaining the idea of having company and being around people is if it's something beneficial and worthwhile. Otherwise, just be by yourself. And if you don't have nobody in your life that's worthwhile, nobody who you can trust, and I don't blame you, because I'm in the same boat. You know, I don't really have a lot of people that I can depend on and everything, but it's fine, because in the art of playing dead, you basically just evacuate everything and you live inside of your understanding of the world and the environment around you as it relates to all the things that we say on this channel. You look at people, you instantly know they dead. It don't take a rocket scientist by now. If you've been listening to the Left Side of the Brain channel, it doesn't take a rocket scientist or a genius to know by now that these people are dead. So there's no need to sometimes, and guess what? Sometimes I trip the wire and I'll speak to somebody and regret speaking to them. Have you ever spoke to somebody and you felt regretful for doing it? It's like you say to yourself, you be like, damn, man, I shouldn't even spoke to that person. And you feel kind of, they make you feel kind of icky. Like after you shake their hand and you take your hand away and it feels like you can still feel their energy lingering around your hand. That's because you went against something that you knew. Don't put yourself in a position that you have to shake everybody's hand. Don't put yourself in a position where you have to talk to people that's not on your level. Because then you're going to find yourself having to further the conversation. You're going to be ready to leave and they're going to be just wasting your time. So in a way, having idle communication with dead people is a form of allowing them to be vampires. They taking your time. They sucking your energy. You already know they human prison bars. And really, when you do that, you're doing it to yourself. I'm going to be honest. It's never a situation that I get myself in. And when I get myself in it, my conscience don't beat me up for it. It say, left side of the brain, all that stuff you teach on your channel, and look at you. And that happens to me sometimes. I'm telling y'all, sometimes I'm my worst critic. I'm human. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes I do things that against what I have said to you on the channel. It don't mean I'm a hypocrite. It just means that I mess up sometimes. And then but you know what? Remember I told you all that time? The soul never forgets anything. My soul, which is the collection of information, it never let me forget the things that I know. So when I get in a situation, my own conscience will say, you already knew that. You said that very same thing on this video a couple weeks ago. You already knew that. That's why you're feeling guilty. That's why you're feeling mad at yourself. And then, guess what? The feeling will go away. And then, I'll recalibrate myself, feel better, and be like, just exhale and say to myself, I ain't get myself in that situation no more. But that's okay. And that's a good sign, because it shows you that you still connected to the truth, and the truth is not going to let you do but so much. And that's another thing. Within everything that we speak about, the truth sets borders around you. You can't go but so far as a jaguar, because your conscience is going to get on you. So within the art of playing dead, there is an aspect of solitude. You see, when you get around these people, be like a possum. Say less as possible, man. You know what? I'm gonna make some t-shirts with possums. I'm gonna make a possum t-shirt. We're gonna know what it stands for. I'm gonna make a possum t-shirt, and I'm gonna make a t-shirt with the jaguar symbol. Those are the new mascot is the possum. Our official mascot is the jaguar. But I'm gonna make a t-shirt with the possum on it as well. The art of playing dead. I've been doing it all day. If you haven't tried it, just try to do it. Even if you work on your job, try to go through the whole entire day on the job just noticing people. And I guarantee you, when you do that, you're going to start noticing that these people, they don't have the same type of mentality you got. These people they got a totally different mentality than you. And you will notice that. They got a totally different mentality. And the more you stick to yourself, you'll realize that. You'll realize that these people are totally different from you. They are really, really totally different from us. They don't think like us. They don't sleep like us. They don't have dreams like us. The only thing that they do like us is the illusionary day-to-day things, like getting in the car, cranking the car up, going to the gas station. Other than that, we are totally different from these people. What do we say? They are human-like creatures. So because they're human-like creatures, what we gonna do? We gonna play like their cousin, the possum, and we gonna be the possum. They creatures anyway. They just animals that look like humans. So we just gonna play like a possum. Just play like a possum around these people. Nothing to say to them. The conversation is over. We have nothing left to say to anybody outside of what we teach about. We don't have nothing else to say to these people. Absolutely nothing. And that's what we're going to do. That's our theme going into the year 2020. It's the art of playing dead. And I want to leave you with this right here. Imagine if you had to think for every time you had a heartbeat, and imagine if you had to think for every time you inhaled and exhaled. Try to do that for 5 seconds. Imagine that you have to think about breathing. Every breath you take, every heartbeat. Imagine if it wasn't involuntary, but you had to think about it. Try to do that for 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Think about you having to think to tell your heart muscles to contract and release, contract, release, contract, release. Imagine that was how it was. Imagine we had to think about breathing. Lungs, expand. Lungs, inhale. Lungs, exhale. Lungs, inhale. Heart, beat, heart. Imagine if we had to do that. Now, imagine we had to think about making our heart beat and our lungs inhale and exhale. Now imagine if that was the case, you, within that situation, allowing someone to take your mind off of controlling your heartbeat and your lungs. You would be dead because you would be focusing on other people instead of focusing on your survival. So you would die because most of y'all would have been dead because we spend too much time trying to save other people instead of focusing on what keeps us alive. Like in the example I gave you. Just imagine you had to think about each time your heart would beat heart, beat. Imagine we had to do that. Now imagine somebody come around you gossiping and you trying to think about what they gossiping about. Guess what? Your heart would stop beating. Y'all get what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by the art of playing dead. We can't afford to be thinking about other people, trying to save other people. We need to be focused on our survival, because thinking about anything other than your own survival, guess what? It can cost you your very life. It can cost you your very life. We're living in the last days and times where it is every man for himself. Every man for himself. So think about that analogy I gave you about what if you had to think to make your heart beat and to make your lungs inhale and exhale if it wasn't controlled by involuntary muscles. So whenever you find yourself getting in other people's business that ain't about nothing, gossiping and doing human prison bar activities, trying to keep up with them, losing yourself, selling yourself out, I want you to think about what I told you. And tell yourself, I would be dead if our bodies were designed where we had to think about each breath and heartbeat. I want you to think about that, and that'll keep you in line. When you find yourself getting sucked back into the crowd, when you find yourself in a relationship trying to please somebody else other than doing what you know to be right, staying on this solid Jaguar information, when you feel yourself going astray, I want you to tell yourself that. What if my heart was controlled by my voluntary thinking? I would be dead right now because I allowed my brain to get off of my heartbeat. So it's the same regard to this information that we're bringing. Don't allow them to take your mind off of your Jaguar path. Just play dead when you're around them, and you will have less problems. You will have less altercations. Because I'm telling you, anytime you get in a conversation with somebody that's not of a like mind or spirit, an altercation is not too far down your path. It ain't a matter of if you are going to get in a altercation with those people. You are going to. It's just a matter of when will the altercation pop off. Y'all get what I'm saying? It's just a matter of when will this altercation pop off. It's not about if, maybe. It's going to happen. when you're working on these jobs, this is another thing I noticed. Even within the art of playing dead, I'm telling y'all, you got to do this exercise, man. You will still find that they still gonna be looking at you. Because think about it. When roadkill is on the street, people still come fuck with the roadkill. They be looking at it. I wonder what happened. Wow, who hit this? How long has that been out there? Why is it smelling like that? They still gonna be looking at you. But it's best to keep them just guessing about you than opening up your mouth and spilling all your information. Like I said, save your real self for these videos and the left side of the brain comment section, but don't go out in that world and try to bring them over to this side. We're not in the business of saving people. I did a video a long time ago, not too long ago, but back in the summertime. And remember the one I did about it's no such thing as a lost soul? Ain't no such thing as no lost soul. Because if you got that, remember I was telling you about that umbilical cord material, like when a baby is born, and your belly button is just the remains of the umbilical cord. That's where that scar comes from. So remember I told you about the great falling away? Some of us still retain the umbilical cord from that time, before the time we live in now. That's what the soul is. It's that collection of information that remains from the time of the great falling away. So saying all that to say, it's no such thing as a lost soul. Either they got the umbilical cord particles or they don't. It's simple as that. They're not lost. They're not lost. Lost from where? You either born in this world with 5 fingers and 5 toes and the ability to eat, or you don't have it. You know how some people can be born with like autism and mental disabilities? The same thing can happen in a spiritual sense. You get what I'm saying? We're going into 30 minutes. I don't want this to be too long because it'll take a long time to upload it. But yeah, like some of these people, they have the same problem in the spiritual sense. They do not have souls. They were born soulless. And you got to know that. So you can't save a person. They don't have no soul transplant surgeries. You know what I'm saying? You know how somebody don't got they left lung, they can go donate they can get someone to donate a lung to them. You can't donate no soul to nobody. Either you got a soul or you don't. You get what I'm saying? Ain't no soul donation centers like where you can give soul plasma. No. That don't exist. It's 2020. And if a person don't have it by now, they just don't got it. I'm telling you, they just don't got it. So yeah, last thing I'm gonna say is, yeah, so do this exercise. Next time you get a chance, next time you out, and you're gonna notice the people around you are just dead as scarecrows, man. You're gonna notice it. And guess what? You're gonna start noticing that they notice you, but it's gonna be very subtle though. And you're gonna notice how the world around you just look like a TV set. I'm telling you, start doing this stuff with your mind. The world around you will start looking like a TV set. Just look at these people. Look at all of the pointlessness that's going on. Everybody just in there shopping. Just look at it. And I guarantee you, when you are doing that mental exercise, you will be the only one in that room thinking about what I'm telling you about right now. And then it will dawn upon you just how different you really are. I'm telling you, you will be the only person, and then it'll be so clear about the human prison bar aspect that we speak about. And say to yourself, if I started speaking this out loud, everybody would start looking at you strange. Then that's revealing to you the human prison bar thing in real time. So it won't just be no fantasy talk, that it'll be something that you can actually experiment in real time. I'm telling you. Next time you in the DMV, think to yourself, what if I started speaking out loud talking about this information that Left Side of the Brain be speaking about on his channel. You're going to laugh in yourself. You're going to be like, wow, all these people in here will be looking at me like I'm strange because I'm saying something that goes against the grain. And then you will see the reality of the human prison bar realm. So I'm going to leave y'all with that. Tell me what y'all think in the comment section. This is Left Side of the Brain signing out.